It's a good day for reading and working up a sweat. Hello and welcome to Checked Out. We're broadcasting from Euclid Public Library in beautiful Euclid, Ohio. I'm Jean Robinson, Multimedia and Communications Specialist.
And I'm Mike Stein, Assistant Manager of Adult Services. We talk about our favorite books, movies, services, and events with our favorite people and our favorite community. Each podcast will feature a theme. Today, we'll learn about Euclid's new Recreation and Wellness Center that will be opening very soon. Our special guests are Euclid Mayor Kirsten Holtzheimer-Gale and Euclid Recreation Director Max Stevens. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Hi, Jean. Hi, Mike. So happy to be here.
It's great to have you. You must be very excited to get to this point. We've been without a dedicated rec center since the YMCA closed in 2018. How's this project been going, and what did it take to get to this point?
I'll go ahead and start, but then I definitely want to let Director Stevens share some of his, he's done a lot of the great work that's led us to this point. But as you both know, we're working really hard to make sure Euclid stays a great city to live, work, and visit. And as long as I've been involved, which is getting on 28, 29 years, I think we've dreamed of having our own recreation center, a recreation and wellness center. We really have had this long-term dream of being able to provide that kind of amenity to our community. So we are so excited to be able to bring this Rec and Wellness Center to fruition. It's taken a lot of work. We really, it would not be happening without ARPA dollars, so American Rescue Plan dollars that were passed several years ago, provided us with some opportunity to be able to dream a little bit and think about what kind of impact could we use those once-in-a-lifetime dollars for to make an impact in our community. And across the board, the city, our directors, the administration, our council felt like this is our chance to make this dream a reality. And so I'm going to let Director Stevens share a little bit about what the center is going to include, and then we're happy to, we can talk about this all day.
Yeah, so this process started a couple years ago, and the actual construction began actually February of 2025. And it's been a long process where, we gathered input from the community and discussed internally what would be the best route to go. And, every day I drive by the center and just get more and more excited about being able to utilize it. So the center itself will be 38,000 plus square feet, 3 full court basketball, pickleball, volleyball courts inside. We have a suspended batting and pitching cage in the gymnasium portion, along with a walking track that goes around the perimeter of the 3 courts. There's also a weight room / cardio room for residents. There will be a multi-purpose group exercise room designated specifically for group exercise. Then there's a middle room that's just a multi-purpose room primarily for programming and exercise. And then there's a multi-purpose room that will be able to host meetings, or if a city council rep wants to have a neighborhood association meeting, they'll be able to do so. The lobby itself will have furniture and charging stations for cell phones, computers, and etc. There will be a check-in desk at the main entrance. So we're excited. We have, as of today, about 40 plus different programs pegged for the center. I have been in discussion with many outside entities such as NovaCare, American Heart Association, several independent contractors who would like to be a part of this center as well.
I know most people probably already know, but for those that don't, and I'm sure there's plenty of those as well, it's going to be right across from CE or Ice Arena, kind of behind the police station area. If you squint through the trees hard enough, you'll be able to see the remodeled library from that area. So right there in the center of a lot of the city services.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, Mike and Jean, and to those listening, we picked that site deliberately. So we looked at a couple of different sites. As Director Stevens said, we did have a lot of community input. Looking back at our master plan, one of the things that the master plan highlighted was really the benefit of having our community resources, community assets, and our community institutions kind of on one campus. And so we really envisioned this center being part of our municipal community campus. So, if you start with the fire station and the middle school and the high school and the library and city hall and the police station, and then all of the fields and courts and recreation amenities, it really becomes one big community campus. So a great place that we can build off of the other activities. And so we're really excited that this center really can be a hub for the whole community. It's really geared towards serving all ages. So while we, think about and talk about youth activities, there's going to be programs for seniors, there's going to be programs for adults, there's going to be programs for families, and we really want the whole community to view this as their central location for health, wellness, and just helping us to improve the quality of life in the city.
I'm sure people are very excited to head over and start exercising and enjoying all the different activities. I understand it's going to open in June. Is there a specific date yet?
So we meet monthly with representatives from Infinity Construction to make sure they're staying on schedule and just making sure, whatever needs that they may have from the administration are being met. The recreation staff will move in probably the second to third week of May, just to get things up and operating inside. And then in June, we'll start a slow rollout of programs such as our summer youth camp. And then by July, we'll be full steam ahead. But we want to just kind of gradually start introducing program to the various spaces, because as a staff, we have to undergo some training ourselves in regards to understanding how some of the different mechanisms inside the building work.
What will the hours be?
We've been discussing that internally as a staff, and we have a meeting with our rec commission, but we're looking at early morning hours, potentially like 7:30 a.m. until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Again, the hours initially will probably change because we need to first just kind of figure out how we can get all of our programming in place and at the same time allow for some of the ideas that many residents are bringing to our attention to be incorporated as well.
Well, we're kind of going through something similar with the library as far as construction.
Yeah.
It's been about a year since we were in our temporary location, which just closed because we're planning to reopen the remodel building on June 6th. So kind of right around the same time frame. You guys will be opening that over there, but we had to get the timeline, and though that date looks like it's going to come through, there's a lot in between the 2 months that we're moving everything back in there. All right, we got to get this in there, we got to get that in there, and the timeline for that is kind of fluid. So we're kind of on the run a lot with who's going to be where, when, and all that. So we're kind of going through those growing pains right alongside you guys.
Yes. In fact, just a few minutes ago, we were talking about just having like an opening day celebration and what that would look like, and just making sure we figure out the best ways to communicate, to residents, how, like the walking path through Memorial Park, how that connects, the rec center to the pool, to the library, to the school, and et cetera. So there's a lot of moving parts and pieces, but we're excited to try to bring it all together.
Well, it's going to be an exciting summer for Euclid with the library having its grand reopening on June 6th. And then the rec center will be opening not too long after that. So
that's right. 2 major investments that really will help benefit the community as a whole. So It is going to be an exciting summer for the city of Euclid.
Food trucks, those are always good for grand opening.
We love food trucks. Food trucks are great. I understand that there isn't a pool in the recreation center, but there are some renovations being done at the Memorial Pool which is near the rec center?
Yes, that's correct. Myself and the parks maintenance staff, we've been meeting with an outside group that's been providing guidance. What we're looking to do initially is make some improvements to the pool house itself, reducing the size of the locker rooms and upgrading the restrooms and the lifeguard office. And then somewhere down the road, making more improvements to the actual pool itself. So yeah, that's another major project that'll be taking place more than likely in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, if I'm a Euclid resident or even a non-resident, how do I get into the wellness center? Is there a membership fee? What all would I have to do to use it?
So for probably the past year and a half, the staff, we've been looking at membership rates at various facilities throughout Northeast Ohio and different parts of Ohio, just to kind of get a baseline of what municipalities charge. There are some, like the city of Cleveland, who don't really charge a fee, but we will have a fee that the membership rate fee will be established at our Recreation Commission meeting on April 21st. The fee itself will be probably one of the lower fees, if not the lowest fee in the greater Cleveland area. So we'll have individual membership rates, family membership rates, youth and seniors will have a discounted rate on top of that. And we're also just looking at some other ways in which we can maybe have a reduced rate. So for example, if you're someone that just comes in to utilize the cardio room and weight room, maybe you just get a punch card as an example versus buying a full yearly membership. So we will make the membership rates known to the public here very, very soon.
And I don't have to be a Euclid resident to use it? Anybody from any community?
Euclid residents will receive a resident rate, which will be less than the non-resident rate, which is in accordance with what we already do with our various programs that we currently offer. But non-residents would pay a slightly higher rate.
Mayor, as a person who is active in sports, what are you looking forward to participating in at the rec center?
I've been promising myself that I was going to start getting in better shape. So I'm looking forward to using some of the exercise equipment, potentially walking around the track. But I'm also really excited just to see the community come together. So, see some of the youth activities happening, seeing seniors coming in there for classes or programs. I'm just really excited that we will have our own space to be able to help improve the quality of life and the health for our residents. But yeah, I do hope to use some of that myself.
And how about you, Mac? What do you hope to be doing in the rec center?
Well, I think for me, definitely taking advantage of the walking track and I'm really looking forward to the weight room and cardio room. That's something that I've always embraced. And as I continue to age, I need to stay active. So that part will be huge for me. But I also think, just being involved with the rec department for quite a number of years, one of the things that's always exciting to see is residents from different backgrounds and different socioeconomic levels just come together and end up developing friendships because they were introduced to each other because their kids are participating in the same sport, or maybe now they're going to be utilizing the same space. So, I think our community needs that. And I think, another big part is the wellness portion. We've been talking to different healthcare providers that want to come in and provide free screenings and things that will be beneficial to the health of our residents.
And we're talking with Euclid Mayor Kirsten Holtzheimer-Gale and Rec Director Max Stevens. So we said that the new wellness center is going to be kind of in that area where all the city services are, right across from the CEO arena. Now, what about parking? I know that is built in the parking lot that's right across from the CEO arena, is there still going to be ample parking for everybody?
Yes. So when we put the plan together for the building, that was one of my big concerns. There will be 210 spaces available in a newly paved parking lot, which it needed to be paved badly. And then, maybe somewhere down the road, there is the old YMCA location where we haven't solidified any plans, but I think the 210 parking spaces will be more than enough initially. It may get tight sometimes when we have a big hockey tournament, but for the most part, even with our big hockey tournaments, there's still ample spaces for parking. So, we'll see. It's going to be one of those fluid things that we'll keep an eye on, and if necessary, then we'll look at alternative plans.
And we've got right next to it, you got those tennis courts and the pickleball courts. Are those going to change? Anything changing with any of that?
So one of the things that we've been doing as a rec department with the pickleball and tennis courts, as we speak, we have a tennis program taking place where residents are signing up for lessons. As you may be aware, pickleball every year it's just growing. So the courts themselves will stay in that location, but what we're hoping to do is kind of coordinate. So, during the warm summer months, maybe having a pickleball league outside, but during the winter months when it's obviously not as nice outside, then we'll bring the pickleball indoors, as well as potentially the tennis lessons.
Yeah, I played up there with those pickleballers. I think there was a group that, I don't know if they still do, but every Tuesday night they would play up there, beginners to professional level type people, but they always talked about playing indoors during the cold winter months. So now they got a place to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that was, when we first started discussing the plans for, building this or putting this building in place, that was one of the things that I was adamant about, was just making sure the floors and the space was conducive for pickleball.
Yeah, we're so fortunate here in Euclid. We have such great assets and such great community programs. And if people don't know about all of the different recreation programs, we would certainly encourage them to get involved. We see this Community Rec and Wellness Center as it'll become a central hub. So the rec department will be staffed out of there, probably have signups, online, but also through the Rec and Wellness Center. And, you mentioned the tennis courts and the pickleball. There's, so many youth sports, either the Smart Start aimed for the younger kids. We have many great volunteer organizations that help put together softball and baseball and basketball and football and cheer programs and dance programs. And we have a great outdoor pool as well. We're really also very fortunate that many of our programs are really made possible through the help of volunteers. Mac and his team do an excellent job of incorporating volunteers, utilizing volunteers, which, makes these programs so much stronger. Incorporating things like mentoring and making sure, we're looking at report cards and encouraging kids to, do well in school. And so, while we talk about recreation and athletics, oftentimes we think of the sports and we want to teach, kids how to win or how to but we're really, through Mac and through his work, it's really about helping to develop good people, good young men and women, and incorporating, as I said, mentoring and character development and, the love of reading or doing well in school. And so that's really that opportunity to bring those things together with sports really helps develop the whole child and helps support the families. And so it's really, fun work, certainly, but also really important for the long-term development of our families and our youth. That's something a little bit unique to Director Stevens and the Euclid Recreation Department.
And this could be a fun outing for the whole family to come to the rec center.
Correct.
Yeah, these things don't just bring people in from down the street. You can get people from outside the community to come in. I know that the ice arena has tournaments that bring people in. I got a friend in Pittsburgh that I've known half my life, so that's a long time. But he's got 3 kids that are into hockey. They came up here for a hockey tournament a couple years ago. So you're bringing people in from all over for these things.
Yeah, and I think, one of the great things about this space is like we're working with an outside organization as we speak in regards to bringing an academic enrichment program and mentoring program, actually 2 different organizations. One organization, which, they're looking to come in and actually provide tutoring. I've always wanted to establish a very strong mentoring program in the city. I think it's something that would be very beneficial to our youth. But not only to our youth, but it also gives adults something very positive to get involved with and impact the city in a positive way. So that's another big positive about this space as well.
All right. Well, that's Euclid Mayor Kirsten Holtzheimer-Gale and Euclid Recreation Director Max Stevens. We're getting very close to the ribbon cutting ceremony for what's the exact name? Is the Euclid Wellness and Recreation Center?
Euclid Recreation and Wellness Center.
And that's going to be in the area right across from the CEOR Ice Arena, coming up very soon for the grand opening. Is there anything else either you'd like us to know about the center?
I just want to really thank Director Stevens and his team, my assistant, Crystal Greta, who's also kind of helped oversee the building side of things. But we've worked with, and City Council for their agreement and their passing the necessary legislation. It's been a team effort. We worked with Perspectus architects who helped develop a great building, and Infinity Construction, who's building the building. It's been a team effort, but really, kudos to Director Stevens and his team. They've, really led this project and helping to make it come to fruition. So we're so excited. This will benefit the city for a long, long time.
And I would probably echo the mayor's sentiments. The residents have been phenomenal with being volunteers and signing up for our programs and making sure the kids are a part of our programs. And because of that, this vision is unfolding here in this city. And, I can't say enough about our residents, but just everybody that's been involved. There's a lot of people that have made this happen, and we're thankful and in a good place for it.
And stay tuned. We'll make sure everyone knows that celebration date as soon as we finalize it. We want everyone to come out and help us celebrate the official opening.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. Thank you both for coming today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's time for the library news you cannot use.
Well, Gene, if we have any movie stars from Euclid, maybe you could get them to help out with the library. You'll find a lot of posters of one of the world's most famous movie stars, Leonardo DiCaprio, at the Los Feliz branch of the Los Angeles Public Library because the multi-Oscar winner has supported that library, specifically in their Leonardo DiCaprio Computer Center. According to sfgate.com, the room at the nearly 30-year-old library stands on the same spot as DiCaprio's childhood bedroom. Leo and his family donated $35,000 and some signed movie posters to help the branch open in 1999. According to senior librarian Puro Yonezawa, people have come from as far away as Germany, Lithuania, and Japan to visit the computer room. Maybe we can get some Monica Potter posters and dedicate a room to her as she graduated from Euclid High School.
And maybe she'll even donate some money for a new podcast broadcasting studio for our library. That would be so cool.
We'll take it.
Yeah, if either Monica Potter or Leo visits EPL, it will just add to the near record total of people visiting Ohio's libraries. According to USA Facts, a 2023 study showed Ohio ranked third behind Vermont and Wyoming with 3.86 visits per person. Ohio was also first in checkouts with 12.99 per person and among the top states for registered card holders.
I know I'd be at the library quite often, even if I didn't work there. I was before I worked there. So I'm a library user all the way through.
Yeah, same here.
That's the library news you cannot use. Thanks for listening to Checked Out. You can learn more about Euclid Public Library by going to our website, euclidlibrary.org.